Yeah, and some of us are already feeling lethargic. I'm telling you, for some reason, this week has been the worst week I could possibly have imagined. And to be entirely honest, I know for sure that I'm not supposed to be slowing down, but I know for sure that I need rest. And that's the conversation we're having today. How do you ensure that you're getting rest and not necessarily slowing down? Again, Turi and I have had this conversation for a while, and it feels like we're almost in the same space but different, right? There's a difference between sadness or depression, and a difference between, especially seasonal depression, and a difference between lethargy and exhaustion, right? These are very different conversations. Exhaustion is when you're just like, hey, Bana, I need a day. Like, I need a weekend. I need to sleep it off. I can't deal with people. Lethargy is when you've had the same exhaustion for a while and you kind of just going like, I can't be bothered. Why? Because either one, you've gone through a very traumatic, tough situation that has taken away the wind beneath your wings, right? And then there's seasonal depression. Seasonal depression comes and goes. Why? Because guess what? Life is hard. There's so many things that are moving around us. There's so many expectations we have for ourselves. There's so many anxieties that we're going through every other day. There's so much stuff happening that you kind of just go in a state of like, yeah, I need a minute. And then the minute becomes a dark corner that you're getting yourself in and you really can't get yourself out. You're trying to wiggle, but eventually you wiggle out of it and you're good again. So how do you make sure that all these things do not end up becoming a big bout of depression? That is the question, I think. Have you found a hack?
Not necessarily, but journaling. Sometimes it's good to write things down, especially when you're feeling them as you're feeling them.
Yeah.
Because, and I think I told you this before, when you're getting into that space where you've been on a good run, you've been doing things consistently.
Yeah.
Things have been working out in a proper manner.
Yeah.
And then you get into a rut. If you let yourself stick there, if you even entertain that thought for a second,
Oh, that's it.
that is it.
Yep.
That is going to be you for the next few weeks. So you need to snap out of it very quickly.
Keep it moving?
Exactly. You need to write down, I am feeling like this, I am feeling like this, I am feeling like this. So I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And then there's always discipline to yourself. You need to not betray yourself. You need to tell yourself, I'm going to wake up in the morning and do that yoga exercise, and not betray yourself and not lie to yourself. Because if you're shortchanging yourself, obviously you're going to shortchange the rest of the world. So you need to start with you. Once you're on a good momentum with yourself, nothing should stop you after that.
Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. But sometimes you're really not having a good time.
True.
So I feel like that's a very nice hack. I love that, journaling. A hack that I would probably prescribe is allow yourself to feel your feelings, but do not dwell in your feelings.
True.
You can feel your feelings. You're feeling sad. Feel it heavy. But don't dwell on it. And now the whole day, all you're thinking about is how sad you are. And then you know what we do when you get sad and now you start adding other small sad things and thoughts into your brain. I can imagine when I was 2 years old and that cow hit me and I broke my leg and I felt so much pain. A sad thought has been added. I can imagine that day when I was like 17 and my teacher just called me out in the middle of class and embarrassed me, blah, blah, blah. A sad thought. Imagine, I can't believe that I have not been paid for the last 3 months and now these people, sad thought. If you start to dwell on it, it starts to build momentum. And when it starts to build momentum, yeah, you can end up being very, very sad and maybe a little depressed. So feel your feelings. It's okay. I'm feeling sad right now. Just feel it. Be in that feeling, but do not dwell on it. The moment you feel a little better, take that a little better and keep it pushing. All right?
And also pinpointing the signs, because there are signs, there are things that pop up and you're like, okay, I'm about to get into a certain phase that I usually get into. And usually it's like, as Kathomi has mentioned it, you're always tired.
Yeah.
You don't feel as if you're finding joy in the thing you're doing anymore. It's important for you to take a break and appreciate things. I think last year I started this thing where I would write down things I am grateful for. And that really, really helped because I think Kathami is the only person who knows what was going on at that time. It was the ghetto. It was really the ghetto. I was going through it. But I needed to find things I was grateful for. And then I was like, you know what? At least I'm not there.
Snap out of it.
At least I'm not homeless. At least, you know, at least I'm moving. At least I can show up to work. At
Yeah.
least, you know.
Yeah.
And you write down the things you're grateful for, and then you wake up and you move. Because if I had even allowed even 1 minute to sit down and think about everything that was happening,
Oh, yeah,
ah,
you're
my
just gonna be like, I'm
God.
done. I am done.
I am
Before
done. I will
Bye.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's my coping mechanism. I sleep.
Oh, me too.
I will take a quick nap. I'll wake up at 3 p.m. So that's it. Just write it down. Tafuta kitabu na pen. Andika, I am grateful for this.
Yeah.
I appreciate the things I've done.
Yeah.
I am so proud of myself
Yeah.
for what I've accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, unasema 2019 me could not believe this is 2023 me. Start doing small things like that.
Give yourself a pat on the back, like,
Exactly.
yes, you're doing
You're doing
great.
good.
You know, stuff like that. And can you actually remember the notebook? We haven't seen that journal in a while. So things are going well. Things are
Iko.
going very
Iko.
well. Iko mahali, but haikujangi squeezy. Moving on really swiftly, let's talk about what we're really supposed to be talking about, which is resting and not slowing down. It's the beginning of the year. We've just given you a few of the hacks that we use just to feel better or just to get ourselves moving so that you don't start to slow down. Because Turi has just told you, it's very easy. You're like, I know I couldn't be bothered. And then you go to bed. And just like that, you've slowed down. You've slowed down because one night of sleep and then the next day you don't solve it. Guess what? You're back to sleeping again. And then 3 months are gone, right? So how do you make sure that you do not slow down and you just keep it as rest? I keep insisting on these small little things. Rest because resting is supposed to be done. Like rest for the sake of resting. All right? What do I mean? You're tired, you're having a tough day. Guess what? You can actually go out to lunch. I used to do this a lot actually. I'd go out to lunch and instead of going for an actual lunch, I'd just sit somewhere and take a power nap. Don't forget you have options. You don't have to have a power nap. You can have a cat nap. A cat nap is one of those where you're sleeping, like your eyes are closed. You can hear everything that's going on around you, but somehow you're still asleep, right? You can still hear everything, the sounds, the movements, all of that. It gives you a good, clean 30 more minutes. Do a power nap or a quick nap where you do like 30 minutes or an hour of just sleeping. When you wake up, you feel a lot better. You feel a lot more energetic. However, have you completely stopped fully doing what you were doing that rest of the day? No, you've just taken a beat. You allow yourself to take a beat. It is 10 o'clock at night. Go and sleep. Sleep until that's 6. If it is 4 hours, you will get. Take that 4 hours because guess what? You need to rest. That's how your body is made. It has to have some rest. Therefore, you must give it rest. Rest for the sake of resting.
And getting sub-projects, like small things to keep you busy, that is very important because sometimes being idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Oh, for sure.
The minute you just idle with nothing on your mind, you start doing strange things. You start playing with bins and whatnot. All I'm saying is you're going to find a destructive behavior or something that's low-key addictive, something that just to take your mind off of things, just so that your mind is functioning, but not really functioning. So I've seen people start small projects like crocheting, knitting. It means you're in your grandma era. No, not exactly. It means you're finding something constructive to do and something that, you know, you can see the produce at the end of the project. Small things. Paint your cabinets kwa nyumba. Paint is not, you could get not so expensive paint. Even if you're in a rental, hizo cabinets za white, they're not very attractive, okay? Get paint, tape things up, start painting, do small things. Kunja nguo kwa wardrobe, okay? Unaona ile section ya wardrobe, kuna specific section, nguo za kutoka 2013, please, toanisha zote. Do that. Arrange your shoes. Your shoe rack, you only wear the shoes that are at the eye level. Hizo za huko chini, eh? You even have your shoes from high school. They are still there. Remove them. Just find small projects for you to do so that You don't give your mind an opportunity to wonder, you know what? Things are not really going well. I need to take a nap. Don't give yourself that opportunity.
But if you do get to a point where you're feeling like, yeah, you may need a nap, it's perfectly fine. Just don't end up sleeping the whole day. You know, we do that. That's the problem. Like, you're like, it's going to be an hour nap, and then you end up sleeping the whole day. Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless you're sick or not feeling well. Come on, Mimi Juicy. Moving on to another one. You will not lose your drive simply because you took a nap, unless you choose to do that, yeah? Because guess what? The work that Turi has just told you, you start a project for painting your cabinets in your house. You think if you leave that cabinet for 1 hour, you go and take a nap, you come back, the cabinet will have painted itself? True. Of course not. That doesn't mean that simply because you took that 1 hour to rest, to cook, to clean something else, to do some other activity in between there, that doesn't mean that you will then lose psych. No, you still know your mission, painting these cabinets. And therefore, simply because you're allowing yourself to get rest doesn't necessarily mean that you will lose the umph. And even if you don't do it today, you're going to do it tomorrow. So stop beating yourself up and making yourself feel guilty simply because you took a minute, okay? Yeah.
And another thing, embrace your drive. Just appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate the fact that you're motivated enough to actually do this. Not many people can do what you do. Not many people can come here and talk in front of the cameras. Not many people are, you know, confident enough to talk to big crowds. So just appreciate yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And even more importantly, change your routine. This one, I have felt it in my bones, okay? And I used to have this problem. I used to come to this place like 10, 15 minutes before work. I was always late. Why? Because I had the same routine. I will chill, I will lounge the whole day, and then I'll shower a few minutes before I leave the house. And you know what that did? It meant that if I have to be here at 4:30 and I decide that, okay, fine, let me start doing it, and I start moving at 4:30, I still have to take a shower, which pushes me to like 5. And then after that, now I'm running around. I still have to come and do my makeup. So what did I do? Nowadays, I tend to shower in the morning. Guess what? If it gets to like 3 and I'm like, it's time to go, I'm not telling myself, man, I still have to shower. You just up and leave. It's time to go. It's time to go. Have all your bags ready at the very end of the house. So it's time to go. You're not telling yourself, oh man, I have to start going to remove what and put it where and do what. Nope. You will wake up, you will grab your stuff and you will dip. Okay? So change something in your routine. It can really change your day. It can really reshape your whole day.
True. Exactly.
Yeah, and finally, as we go home, Turi, I think, has mentioned all of them, but just appreciate yourself is the one we have to reinforce. Appreciate
Pat yourself on your back.
every day.
Exactly. You wake up and say, I want to thank God for me. I want to say thank you to me. I want to appreciate me. Go get that Snoop Dogg.
The video.
Yes, his video. Just repeat it as a mantra every day in front of the mirror. I'd like to say thank you to me. I'd like to say thank you to me for showing up, for waking up early, for waking up when my alarm rang. We don't appreciate.
Especially that one.
You know, like ile hand clap, like the applause.
Yeah.
Anytime instead of the alarm ringing.
Yeah.
You know, no, ile applause tone. Clap for yourself for waking up because okay.
Yeah.
Just because.
Wait, have you ever had that thing where you wake up like 2 minutes before your alarm goes off? You've not experienced
No.
it? It's like either 2 minutes or like 30 minutes. Just a small interval just before your alarm rings. And in that moment, you're like, I really should, because you're very awake at that moment. The moment you tell yourself, let me just sleep until the alarm.
Exactly.
That's where you let yourself.
It's sorry for you.
So it's over. It's over. So these are just our tips on making sure that you do not get lethargic, that you do not end up, slowing down if you get rest. Rest for the sake of resting. Until next week, get some rest during this weekend. My name is Kathomi Kathomi.
Have a lovely weekend. Perambulate. Do the most. You only have one life, okay? Do the most this weekend. My name is Turi Faye, and I'll see you next week.